The 80s were a wild time for movies. One of the most bizarre movies from that era, and probably any era, is The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension, understandably shortened to Buckaroo Banzai. This sci-fi movie attempted to put just about every genre into one strange adventure. Directed by W.D. Richter and written by Earl Mac Rauch, Banzai stands out on both of their resumes. Richter only directed 2 movies, Banzai and a movie that's nothing like it, Late for Dinner. He does have some writing credits that are more in line with the manic feel of Banzai, namely Big Trouble in Little China. Rauch doesn't have a very extensive resume in show business at all. Banzai stands out as the only truly bizarre thing he's done. The movie follows Dr. Buckaroo Banzai, played by Peter Weller, and now I'm going to be sure to cram in my picture of me with Weller from Rhode Island Comic Con a few years ago, as it's one of the only me meeting a celebrity pictures that I have. Banzai is a physicist, neurosurgeon, rock star, and test pilot. He and his pals, the Hong Kong Cavaliers, save the world by battling aliens from another dimension. When test piloting a new jet-powered car with a new technology that lets the car pass through solid objects, Banzai accidentally rips a hole in his dimension, opening our world up to another. This accident attracts the notice of nefarious humans and aliens. The main villain of the movie is Dr. Emilio Lizardo, played by the always incredible John Lithgow. Lizardo has been possessed by one of the interdimensional aliens and is after the device so that he can free the rest of his people from the 8th dimension. Banzai and his friends must stop Lizardo and prevent an all-out war. If you've never experienced this movie and think I'm just making stuff up as I go along, that really is what the movie is. If you have experienced this movie, and yes, I'm using that word very intentionally, you're probably pretty confused. Well, you're not alone. When the movie came out, many critics found it confusing, convoluted, and near impossible to follow. I know I had to check multiple times to see if I started in the middle of a series of movies and missed the first few. Nope. This is just the movie. Particular segments of the audience, and some critics, were more understanding. They loved how original and wild it was. They appreciated Weller and Lithgow's performances. Despite its modest budget, Banzai didn't recoup the costs when it was released. Part of this could be blamed on the marketing, which, from what I've read, did nothing to capture the feel of the movie. But this may not be the marketer's fault. How do you take something so bizarre and so all over the place and package it for mass consumption? As with many of these retrospectives I've been covering, the movie would find its audience and do much better financially on home video. I'll agree. The main hero and villain are phenomenal in it. Weller and Lithgow always deliver. And, like it or not, you can't say the movie is unoriginal. Buckaroo Banzai has since found its cult following, and it's a mainstay in pop culture. Sci-fi and cult movie enthusiasts, especially those who saw this movie for the first time at the right age, love it. They see it as ahead of its time for blending genres in this way. The dialogue is memorable and often quoted in other pop culture projects. This is a mainstay, and not just in the world of nerd. It's been studied academically for its social and philosophical implications. As I said before, when I first saw Buckaroo Banzai, I thought I was in the middle of a franchise. I was confused by the story and how everything fit together. I saw this in my 30s for the first time, so I had no nostalgia keeping me hooked into it. I did like Weller and Lithgow, and a lot of things the movie attempted to do were big swings for 1984. I don't really see myself revisiting this one, at least not very often, but I'm glad I saw it as a pop culture and film education. It's a mainstay, so being familiar with it fills in a lot of blanks. What are your experiences with Buckaroo Banzai? Is this something that you saw at the right age in your early teens, or is it something you saw later in life and wonder why people love this movie? Drop a note in the comments and let us know.